Hi there. It's been a while. There's nothing more comforting than living in an echo chamber, no matter what side of the paradigm you may reside. The discomfort comes when you fight to move back to the side of the paradigm you feel more comfortable. Some background to this, what I'm talking about here is 40 years ago, thereabouts, when I first started working at the National Research Council, I was introduced to computers and computer networks well in advance of what you youngsters call the internet technology of today. Way back when I was first learning how to operate, let's say use a computer, it was in the language of DOS. Kind of like everything was like reading code, writing in code. There wasn't the wonderful graphics that you now have with touch screens and everything. The internet, or what we called the World Wide Web, was like living in the 1800s, what was basically called the Wild West at the time, with few or no law, with no lawmen that tell you how to behave while you were online. Okay, so with no rules, I apologize for Barney there, no rules to corral our imaginations, we managed to create all the incredible things that our society now takes for granted. So wonderful is our society that we've created that the whole world flocks to our borders, trying to get in, breaking in. It's just, they want to live here. As an internet old-timer who's been through, I've been to the trough more than a few times, more than I'd like to admit. I've seen, participated in all the changes as things have gone on. Let's say, as I enter my twilight years, I actually welcome now the thought of lawmen in our society. Law persons, basically these people that are in the dark, stalking around, watching and reading every one of our posts, waiting to catch and punish you crazy people, you crazy wild children. I was there at the beginning. My first cell phone was one of those big bricks of a phone. And I witnessed with each new generation the cell phone getting smaller and smaller and battery life growing longer and longer. So isn't life strange how youngsters are now going back to using larger cell phones, like the size of tablets, easier to use, more comfortable. But again, it's, it's the change in technology. I'm going to say it, technology change is more relevant to each of our lives than climate change. All you need to do is watch youngsters lining up in excitement to purchase a new version of a cell phone that hasn't even had little or no change in technology. So right about now, I guess I hear, okay, boomer. This is what I hear all the time, negating all of my life experiences. All of the things, like I've survived all the changes. I've made it always through. I've always changed and adapted my work environment. And I worked until I was finally, my career finally ended. I came to the end, anyways, that's another story. After 37 years. So I get it. Youngsters have to deal with constant daily change, whereas we as boomers had a little bit more time between each technology change. We could basically psychologically keep up with the flow in technology. And that's kind of true. For a guy like me who just barely made it through high school, with no degrees, finally reached a position in the federal government that was a computer had to have a degree in computer science, designing databases, all kinds of stuff. And I learned on the job as I went along, and I did every job I could, and that was the difference. I was there learning, working my way through, all the way through. So, how far have we come in society? Like I said, when I was a youngster, our world was basically a physical reality. I had to do physical jobs. Even working on the computer was basically physical. Everything is physical in my reality. Jokingly, we actually had to walk to school uphill both ways. And when we got to the playground and experienced scuffles, we recited the saying, "Sticks and stones can break my bones, but names can never hurt me." Like our future was flying cars. But let's look at it. Let's be honest now. Today's generation of youngsters is living in a virtual reality, not a physical reality. They're moving towards a virtual reality. I mean, we can see it with computers right now. There's going to come a time where they're just going to sit in a pod, just like in that movie, and they're going to live their life in an android of some sort, a robot. And that's the way their future is going to be. And that's more real, more possibility than me driving in a flying car. It's just not happening, the flying car. So computers, this reality, this virtual reality, that's going to include non-human realities. People are going to be whatever they want to be. They're going to be able to experience reality in any way, shape, or form. So this is fundamentally a huge shift, and it's coming at a phenomenal rate. Artificial intelligence is manufacturing the future that's coming along. And it doesn't seem to care about flying cars like I did. I always wanted a flying car. Never thought about living in a computer virtual reality. Even when I watched the movie Tron, it never got me thinking about living in a virtual reality. So we're living in a major paradigm shift where our physical survival is no longer an immediate concern. And our society can finally focus more of its resources on our psychological well-being. That's a big shift. That's changed. It's like the children of today now recite the sticks and stones. The sticks and stones may break my bones, but medical technology will heal me. Pronouns misused will harm me, might even cause post-traumatic syndrome. So we're living in a major paradigm shift. The good news is that this new paradigm is being driven by, or the religion of the day, which has now become psychology. The bad news is the new religion of psychology, unfortunately, for the most part, resides in the left of center of the paradigm. That means it lives in chaos with little or no order, which is on the right. And the one of order, the side of order, is just going to suffer more and more because it doesn't have the will, as we talk about in the books, to go out and take charge. So for the most part, the implementation and the sponsorship of these new lawmen, law persons, whatever you want to call them, for the internet, without doubt, will disregard our freedoms and our open border policy that we've had on the internet since ever. Everything that we've ever come to enjoy. Everything is upside down in this new left dominant paradigm, controlled reality. They want open borders, but then they close the borders in the actual reality. Stricter rules, censorship, control. They claim that they want all of the opposite, but then they're clamping down. Everything is, against the rules. So everything is a perceived negative behavior. And, right now it's okay to clamp down on the so-called bad people, the Alex Jones out there. But they're coming for you guys too. They're going to come for you too. They control everything. That's what the elite want, if you want to call them. I call them the fallen ones. I guess one way to combat this is to join it, to relish in it. So to celebrate the next phase of my internet persona, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. Some may call this my castration as a man. I've decided that this is the perfect time to fight the system by joining the system and announcing that I will adjust. I'll do my best to conform, to comfortably exist outside the binary system that they claim. So I guess in other words, I'm reassigning my gender identification. My self-expression will remain fluid, but for the most part, henceforth, I will identify as the planet Mercury in perpetual retrograde, because I find everything backwards. Everything is moving backwards. So you can call this a joke, but these are incredibly liberating times. And as an old man who is in the thralls of dying, to suddenly be able to pretend, for a lack of a better term, this is something short of a miracle. I get to be whoever the hell I want. And you have no choice but to accept it. And you can go to prison for not accepting what I feel I am. I've always felt that I represent the planet Mercury. And now that I'm in perpetual retrograde, just watch out. Anyways, I'm going to close off for now. I hope I do a little bit more of these videos, a little bit more frequently. Hopefully, I'll feel up to doing it. I hope everybody is having who cares what I think, right? I'm Mercury in perpetual retrograde signing out.